All right, you ready?
Yeah.
I need one person to give me one big clap.
Perfect.
When I was young, my father taught me not to gloat, not to care for those in need, and to show respect. So I love my dad. I love my dad. I love my dad. I love my dad.
First question is for Chris. Reflecting on your time as a father, what are some treasured moments that come to mind?
There's a lot of moments, but I guess our big deal that I think about a lot, and I just had this last week, was with Anna. We have 3 daughters, but on their birthdays I take them wherever they want to go to eat, just one-on-one, and we go shopping and just have that time together, just us. So that's a big deal to me, and I hope it's a big deal to them, but it's meant a lot to me in the busyness of the week and all the things we got going on. I think sometimes that gets missed, so just for me to be able to sit and talk to them, hear about what's going on at school, talk about boys or whatever.
So what about the boys?
We hadn't had too much trouble with boys yet, but I have a feeling that that's in the future. So start talking a little bit about it right now, especially with this one.
Be quiet.
Addison, what is it like for you to share that time with your dad?
Well, I mean, having Anna and Ava, we do a lot of stuff together, so it's just kind of special just to have like that one-on-one time with them.
Can you tell me about a time when you shared something really special with your dad?
Well, I was kind of thinking about this on the way here. I remember when I was getting ready to get baptized, and I remember going to my dad first and asking if he would like walk down with me and stuff, and that was pretty special.
What is something that you've never told your dad about the impact that he has had on your life?
Well, it's not really a specific moment or thing, but mainly his hard work and how hard he works for us as a family. His protectiveness over all of us just really shows how much he cares.
So what is it like for you to hear Addison say that?
It's nice to hear your kids say that, because you wonder sometimes whether they're paying attention. So it makes me feel good.
So you're a firefighter in Killeen, father of 3 girls, and you paint houses on the weekend. How do you find balance in your life as a dad?
It's hard going a million different directions. My wife really keeps things together at the house. I'm not as good at keeping things together as she does, but it's hard to balance everything between work and our schedules and the things they've got going. And they're used to me being gone, 24 hours, to the fire department. That's all they've ever known since they were little. But try not to do too much on my days off. Still like to work, but try to be at home doing things with them, especially now it's summertime, and we were fishing all day today, so that was a lot more fun than working. And so I try to spend as much time as I can with them, because it's important, not worry about working as much, which is sometimes hard for me, but I'm getting better at it.
My dad said, son, everyone's different. You gotta love them all equally, pink, red, black, or brown.
So Greg, reflecting on your time as a father, what are some of the memories that you treasure?
I think just spending time with my kids, with Alex and Ben and Zach, and every time we got to spend together, everything to me was, precious and fun and a good memory, whether or not it was playing in the mud outside, or a lot of times when I was left in charge when their mother was gone. You have to teach your kids to be safe and to do things that are out of the ordinary. And so, for instance, I would teach them, if you move the trampoline closer to the edge of the house and you're on the roof jumping onto the trampoline from the roof, that's okay. But you just have to remember to hit the middle of the trampoline and not project yourself out over the other side off of the trampoline onto the ground, because people can get hurt doing that. Things like that usually were followed up by "don't tell your mother." My fondest memories are just spending time with the three of them, whether it was chasing fireflies or playing ball with them. Just pretty much everything that I did with them is a great memory, just spending time with them.
Alex, Greg sounds like a fun dad.
Yes.
What is a memory of your dad that you never told him?
Well, a serious memory is my dad was always our coach growing up. He would come dressed like that to our soccer games. You know, he was always those coaches that we would pour the water on after the games or the Gatorades on. And he was just a lot of fun. And then he pushed me throughout all my sports or my schoolwork. And, you know, I would lose a softball game and not hit a single ball. So I would have to go home and hit 500 balls or, you know. But that's the things that have made me into the woman that I am today, because he was constantly pushing me, but, you know, also made life fun constantly.
Greg, what's that like for you to hear that from your daughter?
It means something to me. I tried really hard to make sure that they understood that they should always do their best, because we're only given so many chances in life to do our best. At the same time, I tried to always be fun, and even after, okay, you need to go home and maybe work on this or hit some balls, or maybe you need to study this a little more, I tried to balance that with, okay, afterwards let's go get ice cream or let's go do something fun. That was always important to me, to teach them to strive to be the best you can be, but also to remember to have fun and not take yourself so seriously that you were always just so tightly wound that you couldn't have fun.
What's something you've never told your father about the impact he's had on your life?
Well, I think he probably knows this, but I've never directly told him that, you know, growing up you had people that were in sports and coaches and teachers that you looked up to, and I guess some people, you know, had heroes. My hero has always been my dad, and part of that comes from he didn't tell me how to live, he showed me. I've gone with him to do house calls after church on Sunday night when somebody was sick and they made a phone call, and he went by and took me with him just so he could take care of them. I've gone with him to haul furniture to someone's house that needed some furniture. They might have lost their bed or, you know, didn't have a bed to sleep in. Just watching him over the years show me, you know, model for me how to be a servant. And that's always been very dear to me.
Dr. Gloff, what's it like for you to hear your son say that you're his hero?
Well, it's very humbling and very heartwarming, because you know, as a parent, you don't always know that you're having an influence on your children, but you hope that they pick up the good qualities and the good attributes that you exhibit. I hope that I was a good role model and a good father, and that he learned from me and from others how to serve others.
What's something that you've never told Greg about your relationship, or how you're proud of him, or how you see him now?
Well, I don't think I probably ever expressed, or didn't express it enough, of my gratitude and thankfulness that he turned out to be a more compassionate servant of Jesus.
Of all the interviews we're doing today, this is the only one where we have 3 generations sitting together. So this is pretty unique. Greg, you're the one that's wearing the hat of a son, a father, and granddad. What advice would you give fathers from your perspective?
Well, I don't think you ever get to the point where you feel like that you can give advice because you're still learning, or that's how I feel. I'm still learning how to be as good a son, as good a husband, father, and grandfather that I can possibly be. That you have to remember that, to try and help others and serve others and put others before you put yourself. And if you do that, it'll make your life a lot happier because you're not worried about and constantly, focusing on your own problems or your own shortcomings. You're trying to find ways to help others and to serve others and to give something back. I think it's really important that you spend quality time with your kids, with your whole family for that matter, but especially with your kids as they're growing up, as they become young adults, as they get older. You need to spend time with your kids, and you need to put the phones down. You need to put, I need to put my concerns about work and my concerns about other things aside and really spend time with my kids and make sure that they know that I'm with them and I'm engaged with them and I'm talking with them and I'm listening to them. And if you do that and you always make sure they know that no matter what happens, they're loved, then I don't know if that's good advice or not. That's just what I've tried to do.
I think just to add to him, it's just about, and I've learned this just as being a mom already, is just being present. And that's been my line of 2018, is just to be present and not to focus on what's going to happen in the future, what's happened in the past. It's my time with Gentry and my time with my family. And it's like he said, put your phone down. It's hard as us as working parents to come home and put things aside. It's, you've got to do that. I've just learned as I've gotten older that every day is not promised, and that just spending good quality time with your family members and the people you love is the most important thing.
I don't know if you really truly ever get there. I don't think you do. You're constantly learning. You're constantly figuring out, well, I should have done this a little different, or I need to do this a little bit better, or whatever. I see this every day. There's a lot of society's ills that can be cured if people would just engage with other people and really spend time with them.
And jump off the roof to the trampoline.
That's awesome. and I only told y'all a couple of them.
When I was young, my dad told me the people talk bad on you. You gotta flick it off your shoulder like a fly. Get out there and make the best of it while you can.
So Ryan, what's something you've never told your father about the impact he's had on your life?
Just really happy he never gave up on me. Kind of gave me he was always there for me. He was the one that I could always depend on, trust, and know that he was going to steer me the right way. Even though I didn't always listen, I made lots of mistakes, but he was always there, and he was always telling me, you can get through this. Whenever I was not so young, but a while ago, I was on drugs real bad, and it just, my senses weren't there, it's like I had no conscience. I didn't really think about anything. I just did what felt good to me, and it just became a habit. And my dad was one of the main ones that would actually not just freak out, but tell me, hey, son, I don't want to come into your room one day and see you, dead from drug overdose or something. He'd tell me he loved me. He'd always be there for me, but I need to change my ways. I've come a long way because of him. He's always been there for me to just show me the path that I need to take and that I need to change so that I could be a good husband and father for my family.
Matt, you guys have been through a lot. What's it like to hear Ryan say that?
It means a lot, as a father, when you see your child, just struggling, you basically feel helpless, like there's nothing you can do other than, like I said, you put it in God's hands. And, you tell them you love them unconditionally, but, that fear of not knowing where they are, if they're alive, it was tough, but I wasn't there to be his best friend, tell him everything was great. You know, I was there to be his dad. I wanted him to be alive for me to enjoy time with him, his future family, and everything that was going on. And it was, you know, it was a big challenge, but it was worth it. And you know, and that's something I had to tell him every day.
It took a lot to realize that it didn't just affect me; it affected everyone around me. But at that time and place, it was me. You want to do your thing and have fun and do what feels good to you, but in reality, it's affecting everyone else and tearing everything apart around everyone around you. So.
Can you tell me about that moment when you realized your dad was right?
I realized my dad was right when I see things kind of start to piece together again, where it's not just falling apart, where I'm not just running away from everyone trying to do my own thing and get in trouble. And whenever I stopped doing that, I saw that my family start to come together as one again, and it just it felt really good to see that things could change.
How did you see God work in that really difficult time? Because this is your son, this is your offspring, this is someone you don't want to lose, but you have no control.
You know, for me, it's kind of like that song, that "In the Eye of the Storm," and that's kind of the way I felt. You know, basically, you know, God was the only one that we could go to that would have had any chance of trying to help solve this problem. And it didn't matter how much, you know, I could plead, my wife could plead, we could chase around, try to find him, whatever it was. In the end, you know, we had to go, and we were just, you know, praying together for him, and only he could handle it. And that was the hardest part, you know. And I know Lisa really struggled, but, you know, it's turning that over to him and helping us get through it. Because like Ryan said, it is a devastating thing for everyone, because you're just, you know, you're just fearful all the time. Is he okay? Is he alive? You know, and Ryan's like, fine, don't worry about me. And in his mind, I think, you know, truly, you know, he believed that. And it was just, you know, once again, it was basically a storm, like a hurricane, trying to get through. You're just trying to survive. And the grace of God, we were able to get him and pull him out of it. My son's life, it's the end result is a great story. Like I said, he's changed his ways and has become, just like I said, just we just love him. He's turned into the man I always thought he could be.
You gotta make me look good.
Wait, do we need to take this off? Yeah, I don't want to break it.
Did any of that sound goofy?
Yes.
My part.
All of it.
No. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I love you,
You ready?
Yeah.
All right, thank y'all.
I love you, Dad. I love you, Dad.
All right, well, thank y'all very much. Beautiful place here.
And then we gotta dance.
We're not dancing.